This latest revelation on the YouTube news story cover all across the United Kingdom exposes London Borough of Ealing committed housing disrepair corruption in the attempt to offer the service user the insulting and derisory sum of £150 compensation to shut down the housing disrepair case as bribery with fraud contrary to the Bribery Act 2010 on July the 4th, 2023. Miss Dawn Kent-Payne, the program lead at London Borough of Ealing Chief Executive Department, committed housing disrepair corruption on stage 2 in her attempt to offer the service user a bribe to accept the derisory sum of £150 compensation as abuse with harassment, contrary to the Protection from Harassment Act 1997, and bribery with corruption, contrary to the Bribery Act 2010, carry imprisonment terms up to 10.6 years for both offences, a fine or both. London Borough of Ealing have not provided the service user with a reasonable compensatory sum for his psychological pain, loss of immunity, suffering of chronic lung ill health, unnecessary inconvenience, damage to the service user furniture from mold and damp since November 2021. The service user advised the charity advice resolution that he reject the derisory sum of £150 for the reason London Borough of Ealing gave for the final settlement as abuse and corruption with fraud, contrary under the Bribery Act 2010. Miss Kent-Payne totally ignored the view, failing to consider the housing disrepair when the service user moved in of November the 23rd, 2020. London Borough of Ealing abused the service user as an attempt to offer him with a peppercorn sum of £150 as corrupt practices contrary to the Bribery Act 2010. Miss Dawn Kent-Payne and Miss Natalie Bishops committed bribery with corruption in the attempt to offer the service user by forcing him to accept a derisory sum of £150 compensation to cover up the abuses on housing disrepair and loss of immunity as harassment, contrary to the Protection from Harassment Act 1997, and corruption with fraud, contrary to the Bribery Act 2010. Miss Kent-Payne and Miss Bishop attempt to bribe the service user to drop its litigation claim against London Borough of Ealing, which they abused their position and failure to disclose information under the Fraud Act 2006, committed fraud with bribery, contrary under the Bribery Act 2010. Natalie Bishop at London Borough of Ealing Housing Disrepair Team sent the service user a text message on July the 4th in her attempt to bribe him out of his litigation claim without going through his lawyers, abused her position under the Fraud Act 2006, committed bribery with corruption under the Bribery Act 2010, contravened the United Nations Convention Against Corruption. London Borough of Ealing made no genuine effort to resolve the housing disrepair matter, breached the Landlord and Tenant Act 1985, Section 11, overtly failed to implement a duty of care towards the service user in this respect. The service user received a letter dated July the 4th, 2023 from Miss Dawn Kent-Payne at London Borough of Ealing Chief Executive Department on Stage 2, conclusion of the housing disrepair acted unreasonable, deceitful, unscrupulous, unethical, and unlawful in her action, damaged her personal and professional reputation, committed abuse, bribery, corruption, deceit, and fraud, contrary to the Bribery Act 2010, carry imprisonment term up to 10 years, has committed a criminal offence contrary to the Protection from Harassment Act of 1997, carry imprisonment term up to 6 months, or a fine, or both in this respect.